Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Last Things Last podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Myers, joined by my co-host, MJ Nisgoda, and the silence. The silence, MJ. You could just hear it. There's silence. He's not saying anything I have to cut out 1,000 times. He's not wasting time before or after. It's just silent. Justin, we love you. I hope you're having a great time at your conference in Cleveland. But, man, you have given me a present before Christmas of not editing a video. So enjoy your conference. We'll see you next time. MJ, how you doing, buddy?
I'm great, but you know he's going to come back now and just be even worse because you said that.
He's
going to, like, Justin, I think what clever thing to do would be write very, very off-color things and stick them on the wall behind you and, like, slowly move your head so they appear on the screen.
Well, MJ just gave me an edit because I don't want him to know that. All right, so we're going to hop right into this. The winter meetings have come and gone, and throughout that process, they talked about a new rule that will finally be put in place in 2020, and it will be the 3-batter rule. So basically what happens is every pitcher in general, but it really affects the relievers, has to at least face 3 batters before you can take him out and put another one in. So for me, I don't like the rule because I like the strategy of being able to choose a reliever that matches perfectly with a specific hitter and then taking him out and going to the next one and being able to kind of mix and match that way. I do get the other side that it possibly opens up some new strategy, which I'll let you touch on. But just for me personally, I remember when the Cardinals were in the 2011 series, one of the big reasons we were successful is because Tony La Russa was really good at figuring out what bullpen arm was going to go after a specific Ranger batter. And it really, really worked out for us to the point where there was one inning where we had 3 pitchers for 3 batters. It was just in, out, in, out, in, out. And it worked. But again, they want to speed up the game. I understand that, and I think that's great. So, MJ, I'll pass it to you. Those are just some of my opening thoughts on it.
No, I'm in complete agreement with it, man. I don't really like the rule too much either. I think there's a ton of strategy. I mean, the numbers prove the strategies, right?
Absolutely.
Who's good against a left-hander, career. I mean, look at when they show the stats. It's career numbers versus left-handers, career numbers versus that specific batter. I mean, I think this could have huge ramifications on, late innings. Like, you get a batter that comes up that's just smiling because they know, the guy in front of me, he may have taken him out or not been great, but if you have power hitters that are really good against specific pitchers, they're kind of in trouble because I believe it's 3 batters or half inning. So,
okay. I didn't see the half inning part.
The half inning part. Now, the thing I think they could have done prior to bringing this rule out is if you're going to have pitchers come in, they should be warmed up before they hit the mound. Truly warmed up. I think that's a way they could have combated the speed of the game. I think that would have been a fair way first to try it.
I think you should get – I agree with you. I think they should be fully warmed up, and you should get like 3 pitches off the mound to get the mound to catcher. That's fine. I'm cool with that. But you don't need 5 to 10 pitches, taking your time, working on your breaking ball, making sure the arm feels good. It should feel good by the time you get in there.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that.
And with most of these managers, man, I mean, they know what pitchers they're going to use against teams. They have all the stats prior to. I mean, but I personally don't like it. I think there's a ton of strategy.
If you're the Astros, you know more than that.
Oh, boy. No, I think there's a ton of strategy that just got taken out of the game, which I hate saying this about any sport, but a true fan really likes to see.
Yeah.
Like, can one skipper outsmart the other skipper? Like that's a big part of baseball. But I mean, let's see what it does. If it, greatly affects scoring or, start having landslide things happen one way, obviously baseball will do something about it.
I get that baseball is trying to appeal to, at least they're saying we're trying to appeal to the under 50 crowd. Mm-hmm. Okay, I get you. I understand that. But there are tons of people like you and I that love the game for the fact that you can go and spend an entire afternoon or evening at the ballpark, get a beer, get a hot dog, just sit and enjoy a game. It's not something that I want to be rushed. Baseball is something that has an ebb and flow to it. There are some innings that go way faster and some that take longer, and there's some drama at each at bat for that. So I think I get what Manfred is trying to do. He's trying to make it so that a younger consumer that wants things really quickly is able to watch a baseball game in the time that it would take to watch maybe a primetime football game. Which
yeah, you're 100% right. But you know what? The same problem happens in basketball, man. Like,
right.
if someone came up to you and said, "Oh, you only have 2 minutes to live," I want the last 2 minutes of a basketball game. You're going to live forever. I mean, the fouling that takes place, the free throws, the timeouts, the TV
buzzer
timeouts.
beaters, yep, all of it.
I think it's like most average games, like 2 minutes takes 20, 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane.
And, like, for example, I love the moment, like, especially World Series final, like, elimination game. There's 2 outs, 2 strikes. The guy's about to throw him out. The camera pans in on him. They take their time. The pitcher takes a deep breath. Like, it's just this moment that builds itself up. I don't want them to change the pace of a game that has been around for so long at the pace it's been at. You know, I think little things here and there are fine. I think little things here and there are fine. And this one won't change it too dramatically, but if we keep going down this road, I don't want to see baseball just become another – I can turn it on and watch it in a couple hours and I'm done.
Well,
you know?
That's the thing, man. It's a reason it's called America's pastime.
Yeah.
Like, it's like you said, you described it perfectly. It's something you're supposed to go, sit down, enjoy. It's going to take a couple hours. But, you know, like at the ballpark, you can have a drink. You can go have food.
And you're not bored with it because each pitcher is going to show you something different. You know, watching each pitch, each at-bat, there's something to it. Our other co-host, you know, Crickets, is very anti-baseball because he finds it to be incredibly boring. And I think the people that say it's boring are those that don't really understand the game, that aren't getting into the game for that reason. Like, I love baseball for those at-bats. I love baseball for the middle innings, all of it. You know, just being able to watch a pitcher and a hitter duel it out and really use the strategy to try and hit a ball that is being thrown way faster than your brain can pick up on. Like, there's a cool thing, I think it's on Netflix, called Fastball. And they did this entire study on the fastball itself and over time how fast it got and things like that. And they were I forget what hitter it was, but he was talking about, you know, you're in the box and literally you're like, okay, I better guess that this is a four-seamer because I'm not going to be able to guess when he lets it go because it's just going to be by me. So, I mean, those things are so interesting about the game. And I think for people like Justin who enjoy hockey, basketball, football more, they like that fast-paced kind of game, although football's becoming commercial city. So,
the problem, man, and then with every sport, hate it or love it, replay is going to keep creeping in more and more.
Always. Yeah.
Which now, have you noticed that, like, with replay creeping into some of the sports it has, that more mistakes are being made by the refs, like blatant mistakes, than ever before?
Dude, when they instituted the pass interference rule for this year that you can challenge it, I think one has gotten overturned.
And it was against the Saints.
Yeah, it was the team that wanted it. It's like, bro, like, so now we're just wasting time and nothing's happening out of it. So, like, I don't understand it. But, yeah, I think it's an interesting rule. I'm not all for it, but we'll see how it impacts the game in 99 days. By the way, spring training starts in 99 days. Can't believe that. Can't wait.
I'm so excited. The Phillies give me no hope, but I'm so excited.
What about the Orioles? The Oreos. Okay, so moving on from that, the Coyotes in NHL, the Arizona Coyotes now. The Arizona Coyotes, are they contenders? These guys have started to make some moves, MJ. What do you think? What do you think of their latest acquisition?
I want to start on the Devils side first. I am completely against trading proven talent for unknown draft picks. I am completely against that.
Yeah.
It's one thing in any sport, especially on this trade. You got a guy that's not that old and he's still dominant. He had a bad year. I think it could be the dynamic of the team, the coach. But I'm just saying, you got some guy that's
he's a number one pick in his draft.
And but he's living up to it. Like, that's what's killing me.
Taylor Hall is a legitimate hockey player.
Now, they did get a haul for him.
Yeah, they did.
An absolute haul. And I forget the defensive man they got that they said needs about a couple more years, and he's going to be a pretty big impact player. But, I mean, the draft pick, one's a protected pick. The next is a third round that could become a first round in 2021?
Yeah,
2020. Yeah, could become a first round pick. But with this trade, man, I think this pushes the Coyotes up. That was a brilliant move. It's an all or bust season because he is a free agent this offseason. So
he is, but I think, and there's a great article that NBC Sports, shout out to them, wrote, and the title I love. It's Taylor Hall and the Coyotes need each other. It was like a match made in heaven. It's this team that has never been able to get over the hump. They've had some great talent in the past, especially the last couple of years. They've just been a team that's always there. They are a playoff. They could make a playoff run at any time, or they could fall off at any time. This was just beautiful. And I think getting a young guy like this, you're right, though, becomes a free agent next year. So if they go all in and they show them that they're serious and they show them that we're serious about being contenders the next couple of years, in hockey, you're going to find more than any other sport, the loyalty thing. I think that shows itself more in hockey than anywhere else.
Well, the reason the Devils shopped him was because they tried for an extension and couldn't come to terms, and then this season
New Jersey's the only team worse than New Jersey is Detroit.
We can edit that out. We won't, but we can.
The only team worse is Detroit. So that's probably why he didn't want to stay in New Jersey. I mean, they are garbage.
Yeah, but with their offseason pickups, I feel like they had a Browns offseason. Honestly,
well, they usually do.
Like everyone was like, "Oh, the Browns got OBJ. This team's going to run," and then they pick up Subban and who's the other guy they picked up? I just read.
The rookie.
Yeah,
I'm forgetting his name too. Shows how much I care about the Devils.
Yeah, but again, it was supposed to be like, "Hey, this is going to revive this team, and they're going to make a run," and it didn't. I think that's an organizational problem. I don't think that's a player-coach problem at that point.
Yeah, I agree. It's one of those. So, like, the Devils receive Ryan Merkley, Nate Schnarr. Nate Schnarr's a nice get. And then Ottawa 67's defenseman Kevin Ball, so he's still a minor league kind of guy. But also a lottery-protected first pick in 2020 and a conditional third in 2021. All of this for Taylor Hall. So it's one of those – maybe you found your guy that you needed to be a dynamic playmaker, which is what the Coyotes needed. They needed someone that's going to go on the ice and complement a Phil Kessel. Complement guys like that. A lot of veteran presence on this team, and be able to be that excitement for the crowd again. A guy that's going to be able to be a two-way player. He's going to be able to drop back on defense. He's going to be able to score goals. Like, this guy is really, really good. Now, the Devils do have to retain 50% of his salary for this season, so that sucks. But you're getting a lot back in return, especially when you're a team that is trying to build something. Taylor Hall is doing nothing for New Jersey right now.
No, and New Jersey's in the same spot the Dolphins are, man. Like, honestly, they're shopping all their veteran talent around, trying to get rid of it. They want draft picks. It's finally the admission of a complete rebuild is taking place.
Absolutely agree. And you know what? I think that, especially in the Coyotes division, it makes things a lot more interesting now. I mean, there's a lot of things that you have to look out for now. When a team makes a move like this, especially in the NHL, it can completely turn the tide, especially in this. Let me see here. Because the current standings right now,
I think the Coyotes are fourth in the league.
So Coyotes are first in the Pacific. Okay,
but I mean overall they're.
Oh yeah. Overall, they are eighth in the NHL, but in their division, they are in first place, and they've got a 1-point lead over the Knights, a 2-point lead over the Oilers. It's a very contested division because you got Edmonton, who's got Connor McDavid, and anyone with Connor McDavid is dangerous. The Golden Knights are always in there. They have one of the most incredible goalies in the league.
Well, you can't see always in there. They've only been around for under 5 years, so you can't say they're always in there.
Since they've been a team, they have always been in there. But, it's just one of those really interesting divisions to watch because it's already so contested. Mm-hmm. And now the Coyotes go and make this move for this young stud that is going to quite possibly put them over the top. I'm going to say it's enough to seal the division for them.
I definitely go as far as that. Again, man, like I said, I know at the beginning I said I don't like trades like this, but I think Jersey got a fur haul, and I think Hall is a great, like you said, he's a great fit. It's definitely a gamble, though. I hope they can retain him going into next year. But, we've seen with the Raptors this past year, just jumping sports again, but teams are willing to risk it for that 1 year, man. They really are.
Yeah.
I support. I think that's a good idea.
Also, while in the NHL, just wanted to show our support for Oscar Lindblom. Horrible to hear about him with his this rare bone cancer that he's dealing with. So we're definitely with Flyers Nation on that one, sending our prayers and support to him and his family. Really cool, great job by the Flyers. They had signs on every seat in the stadium with "I stand with Oscar" on it. So they're really showing him a lot of love and just trying to support him as much as they can. So that's really cool to see.
And let's be honest, when things start to take place, Gritty will come visit. So what more do you want?
Gritty smashed a cake in a Flyers fan's face. This
As
guy's
he should
a
have.
psychopath.
As he should have. Gritty, if you stop that, Gritty's a national treasure. I'm a Wings fan, but Gritty's a national treasure. You watch it.
Hey, he's no Al the Octopus, man. He is no Al the Octopus. The mascot that isn't really a mascot. So something that we're going to talk about later down the road, but NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman says February we're going to get a logo, a name, and maybe some other personnel choices for the new NHL franchise in Seattle. So very exciting that we're getting another team in the NHL. And Seattle, I think, is a perfect place. You're close to Vancouver. You can have a huge rivalry with them. I think it's a great place to put a franchise.
I wonder what the name's going to be. I hope it's not the Dreamers.
The Orlando. I haven't heard. By the way, for those who remember that from, I think our first cast doing this way, I haven't heard anything about it. So I don't know if the dream is gone. The dream is gone. I have no idea. But it's completely. I hope it's not the Seattle Dreamers. That'd be bad. Absolutely incredible stuff coming out of the NHL right now, unless you're a Red Wings fan, which both of us are. We should just start our own podcast, and it should be a 10-minute long podcast each week.
Of what? On sobbing?
On just continuous crying. On just what can we hope for?
Dude, every time I open my app while they're playing, I look down at ESPN and they're losing. They're never ever in it.
I'm usually bad luck for the Red Wings. Usually when I watch the game, they lose. But this season, I've turned it on and I'll watch the first period and we'll go up 2-0. And I'm like, all right, cool. I got to go do something else. I turn off the game. And then my phone buzzes 3-2 opposition. What? How did that happen so fast?
Oh my gosh, they're like the O's after the All-Star break, man. It's just second period, woo,
and we're done. Yeah, no, not good. All right, so moving on to the NFL, man, we're moving right along. I just want to say it is just such a pleasure to work with you. It's calming. I don't get stressed. It's just.
Kev, I feel like I'm obligated to say this, but remind me to tell you something after the podcast about this exact moment, okay?
I will absolutely do that. Okay, so the Pro Bowl rosters were announced, and there was someone that might have been quite a notable snub on there. But it all depends what you think about it. Dak Prescott left off the Pro Bowl roster for the NFC. MJ, do you like it or hate it?
I think it's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I know he's leading the league in passing, but barely.
Barely.
Famous Jameis is going to catch him, man. Famous Jameis is going to have a 5,000-yard year.
I don't know. Mike Evans just got on IR.
It doesn't matter.
Chris Godwin's hurt too, I think.
It doesn't matter. He'll throw to the fans. He's getting 5,000. But no, man.
Or the other team, which is more his style.
Who do you take out? Who do you take out to put him in? The Cowboys have been garbage. They're in the worst division in football.
What are the official quarterbacks for the NFC other than Drew Brees? Is it Garoppolo?
It is Russell Wilson, Drew Brees,
obviously, yeah.
and Rodgers.
Oh, yeah. How do you
They're 10 win. All those are 10-win teams.
You have 3 Hall of Famers. 3. They're all going to the Hall of Fame.
And Breeze, I guarantee, doesn't get the injury, is on pace for another 5,000-yard year. Yeah. He just set the touchdown record, and he's having statistically the highest accuracy ever.
By the way, if you didn't see it, so Drew Brees, congratulations to him for passing Peyton Manning for all-time touchdowns. when he passed him in yards, I think 2 years ago, Peyton Manning did an amazing video, which resurfaced again the other day, of him just chopping tomatoes and someone telling him that he broke his record. He's like, huh. Well, Drew, thanks so much. I'll just get back to chopping my tomatoes here. Don't have a lot of time to pay attention to you. So I'm going to tell you that congratulations on passing my yards. And since I'm really busy with my life, I'm going to just congratulate you now for when you break my touchdown record. So that resurfaced the other day. It was brilliant. I love Peyton Manning's sense of humor. But, yeah. I mean, to beat a guy like Peyton Manning puts you in a separate category.
Yeah, man.
Drew Brees is perennial.
Think about it. When he got hurt in San Diego, nobody thought this was going to happen. Nobody.
You know, and it also wasn't a Big Ben coming in for Tommy Maddox, where Ben played really well kind of right away. Drew Brees, it took him a little bit. When Doug Flutie got hurt, he came in, and it took him a little bit to gain up. And we're like, okay, I mean, maybe he's the answer. And then by the end of the year, you're like, okay, this guy throws bullets, and they are on target.
Oh, all the time, man. I
love watching him play.
Now, the thing is, depending on how much longer he plays, I don't know if he's going to hold the touchdown record.
No.
No. I mean, even just with him and Tom Brady are going to go back and forth, man. It's going to happen. But
Brady sent a real great tweet to him. He's like, I'm going to try and break that.
Yeah, I'm still here, yeah. But the other quarterback that went over Dak, Russell Wilson, has a much, much worse team than the Cowboys roster.
Oh, yeah.
And they are winning.
Offensively, absolutely.
They're winning.
Yeah. And you know what? It's funny. Seattle's such an interesting team because when the Legion of Boom was disbanded, it was like, okay, here comes rebuild mode, because that was their identity. I mean, they had, over the years, they had a Sean Alexander. They had a beast mode. They had these guys that would kind of come in and fill the spots on offense to keep them competitive. But, like, Big Jack's DK Metcalf is kind of their guy right now, and no one expected him to be the guy.
I did. Team. That's why he's on my fantasy team in the championship. I'm about.
Yeah, congratulations to you on that. I beat that championship team, but congratulations. I didn't beat many others, which is why I didn't make the playoffs. But no, I just think Seattle is such an interesting team for that reason. And you're looking at a guy like Russell Wilson. There's a guy that that absolutely changes the face of a team. So, like, you give him anybody that can sort of catch, he'll make him play well.
Yeah. No, he's brilliant, man. He's absolutely brilliant. And he's the one guy that's gotten a max contract extension that's worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. He's one guy you can literally always depend on.
Yes.
And you know what? And I get crap for saying he's one of the most dependable quarterbacks of all time because of the interception in the Super Bowl. That was not his fault. I'm just – why did you not – run the football? Listen to me. Here's when you know you're wrong. When Chris Collinsworth, shortly after that play happened, says, I don't know why they didn't run the ball, you should be ashamed of yourselves.
It's the Illuminati, Kevin. It's the Illuminati. That's what happened. Someone came down and said, you have to do this in order for the world to stay where it's at.
Weren't we at your uncle's? Is that where we were when we were watching that game? We were at one of your family members' houses because all the guys, we were all downstairs. I remember it vividly, but I can't remember whose house we were at. And we were just
there was a grotesque amount of swearing after that. I remember that.
He dropped back. We're like, oh, he's going to do a delay. No.
Grotesque amount of swearing. That's all I remember.
I was like, great, the Patriots are going to lose. Nope. Crushed my dreams.
And now, man, the final one, Rodgers. You're not taking him out. I think the reason people think he's playing so bad is because he's playing at such a high level.
Dude,
come on.
And that's the thing. He's another guy. The Packers do not have that great a team.
No,
but he is so good.
And they've had injuries all year, and they still win. Come on.
He's a winner, and that's what you want. I don't care. And that's why, as the Steeler fan, I never cared if Ben would throw 4 interceptions as long as we won the game. Put us in a position to win. I don't care. Just put us in a position to win. And it was just one of those. He's a winner. So why would you get rid of him? I mean, Dak Prescott hasn't proven anything. Everybody says he's this great leader, and he might be, but on a team like that where they actually have some talent, they can't get over the hump. Why are they and the Eagles this close to each other? The Eagles are a hospital, and the Cowboys have a playoff caliber team.
They have no reason that they shouldn't be, 3-4 losses max.
It's just the
Like, this
classic.
division should have been over years ago, or years ago, months ago. But
I disagree with Stephen A. Smith on a lot of things, but one thing I do not disagree on is his Cowboys takes because he's always right. They are always disappointing somebody. Always.
no, man, it's no. Now, as Prescott, I think he's cost himself millions of dollars this year, not signing an extension. But he's a good quarterback. But look at last week; they finally get back to running the ball and they win.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, no, man, I don't think he got snubbed. I just think there was better guys. He will make Pro Bowls. Come on. It's what, his third year? Come on.
Yeah.
I just don't – you don't pull any of those three guys out to put him in. You don't.
No, I think that's absolutely ridiculous thing about that. Now, other people were ticked on the AFC side that Tom Brady didn't get in. Look, I get that he's the GOAT, but you can't bring him in because he's the GOAT.
No, he's had a bad year.
The odd man out.
Yeah,
he's the odd man out. Lamar Jackson, easy number one choice. It made sense. Eagles long snapper Rick Lovato got a Pro Bowl bid, so that's something. Okay. Yeah. So again, congratulations to Drew Brees. Really, really amazing. Let's go ahead and get into our NFL picks before we do our last things last. Man, we are just moving right along. It's as if there isn't a low talking, even though I have a high voice in real life, co-anchor that he's going to kill me on this next cast, dude. If he takes the time to watch this, he is going to kill us on the next cast. Which will be great because we're thinking about doing a Michael Jordan, LeBron full cast debate. So see, I'm starting to talk a little bit of heat to get him riled up a bit.
This cast is going so good, we will be done, and I will have only finished one beer. That says a lot right there.
Funny story about alcohol. So at our staff Christmas party this past week, I go downstairs. We hired a caterer and a bartender, and everything was set up. It was really, really nice. And one of my coworkers goes over, and him and I, we chat about bourbon. We like trying different kinds of bourbon. And he's like, oh, cool, the eggnog's here, and we just got like big bottles of Jim Beam to spike it, whatever. So he just pours himself some eggnog, tries it. He goes, yeah, it definitely needs to be spiked. So it takes some bourbon, pours it in. I don't even try it. I just put it in, pour some bourbon because I like mine spiked too. We drink it, love it. All the other coworkers start going through the line, and they're like, just pouring eggnog. And I'm like, why is no one spiking this? Turns out it was spiked. And either we have a problem that we couldn't taste that, or I don't know. But it was really funny. We both looked at each other like.
And that's how you became a Broncos fan.
So, yeah, very always check the eggnog, apparently, before you spike it. All right, NFL Week 16. Can't believe we're already at Week 16.
God, man.
Absolutely crazy. All right, let's start it off here. Thursday Night Football. There is no Thursday Night Football.
Yeah, there's games on Saturday this week. I think that's why.
That's right. Saturday, the Texans at the Buccaneers at 1 p.m. Eastern time. I am going with the Texans here.
I'm still on my suicide pool, and I can pick both of these teams, and I don't want to touch this game. I have no idea what's going to happen.
Texans are still fighting for things. So.
Jameis is fighting for his job. So, Kev, I'm going to go with the
Jameis has been fighting for his job since he got it.
I'm going with the Buccaneers, man. You take out – honestly, you drop his interceptions this year, which I know is a lot to ask. You drop his interceptions, he's in the talk for
He's going to be without his weapons, though.
But he's in the talk for MVP if you drop the interceptions and they have a few
I hear you.
wins.
He's a deep ball threat. He's incredible. Bills at Patriots. Bills coming off a win against Pittsburgh. They're in Foxborough, and the Patriots have shown that they are vulnerable even at Foxborough this year. I'm going to go with Buffalo. I love what this defense is showing me. I didn't love it last week, but they showed me what I kind of expected. Buffalo's an actual threat, and I think people aren't taking them as seriously as they should.
I'm going to go
AFC East.
I'm going to go Patriots on this one, just because it's at Foxborough. Their defense, pulled through last week against the Bengals. I think kind of got a little revived. But I'm doing very close game. I mean, 3 to 7 points separates this game.
All right. The Saturday night game is the Rams at the 49ers. Ew.
Yeah.
Niners coming off a really, really weird game. But I'm going to roll with them here. They're at home. They're still a NFC favorite. I think they go to 12-3 after this week.
I think the Rams get embarrassed again, and the Niners take this.
Saints at Titans. This is a huge game for the Tennessee Titans.
Another game
and I
don't want to
pray
touch.
that they lose because that will continue to help the Steelers. Because if the Titans lose out, even if we lose out, we're still in. So going with the Saints here, they're just a better team. But it is in Tennessee, and this team could definitely upset them. So it's going to be close, but Saints.
I'm going Saints over the Titans. Same, completely agree across the board. The Saints are a better team. But I'm taking the over on this game. We're going to see some points.
Probably a good plan. Yeah.
We're going to see some points.
Panthers by the way, isn't it cool to see Ryan Tannehill totally revived?
Yes.
Like he's a legitimate quarterback, and everybody
who
saw glimpses of it.
God's waiting room. That was the problem.
He's in purgatory, football purgatory. All right, Panthers at Colts. I'm going with who cares? The Colts, because they're home.
I'm going Panthers.
Trash.
Panthers, I think, third-string quarterbacks this year have proven to win games. So I'm going Panthers.
Oh, hey, Trump got impeached.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
what?
By the House.
No.
I mean, he's not removed from office, but
shocker. Anyway, I'm going Panthers win. Third-string quarterbacks have proven they can win. And the Colts, man, I looked at their injury list the other day. Oh, my. They would have been a playoff team if they didn't lose everyone.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a team I feel really bad for, man. I looked at the injury reserve list, and it's terrible.
Oh, yeah, it's awful.
But Panthers, I'm going Panthers.
Bengals at Dolphins. Oh, my God. Who is watching that game? Even if you're a fan of one of those teams. I'm going with Miami. They're home, and the Bengals are they're nothing. They're nothing.
I'm going tie game.
I'm
going with it. It's going to happen. Going tie game.
Not out of the realm of possibility.
No,
Jaguars and Falcons. Jaguars just fired Tom Coughlin. So I don't really know what to think about them right now. They're kind of a team that's reeling, especially these last few years even. I'm going to go with Atlanta. They've had some big games this year. Just couldn't put together a consistent year.
I don't know how Atlanta's not a 10 to 12 win team with the roster they have.
I don't understand it.
And the games
it hasn't changed.
Man. The games they win, they win.
Since the Super Bowl, it has not changed
so
much.
many good teams.
Yeah. They have a ton of great wins on this season.
They beat more teams with winning records than the Cowboys. That should tell you everything you need to know right there.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm going to go with the Falcons in this one too, man. I think the Jags are downward spiral. They have a lot to do in the offseason.
AFC North clash in Cleveland. The Ravens are playing the Browns. Baltimore continues their dominant streak, and the Browns continue to show that they're still the Browns. Ravens.
This is going to be my upset of the week. I'm going Browns. They beat them already. They beat the Ravens once this year, man.
It's not happening again. It's not happening again.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Usually in these AFC North scuffles, it's usually you win one, you lose one.
I think we're going to see the Browns win, and I think we're going to see a cleat thrown at someone this time, not a helmet.
I'll say this. If they decide, hey, we don't even need Lamar Jackson this week, then sure. But no.
I think if they had the division wrapped up or number one seed wrapped up already, that would have happened.
Well, that's why I'm saying he's going to sit against Pittsburgh. He's not going to play against the Steelers, which is
my hope is Ingram goes off. They get about a 3-touchdown lead. They bench Lamar so I can win the championship. Because my team is better than Ethan's team. It is better.
Benching kills in fantasy. I remember I was in the finals 2 years ago, and I did not have a plan. I didn't even think about it, that they would bench Big Ben, who's having a statistical killer year that year. And they also benched I think I had AB. And I was like, oh, my God, I'm screwed. They're benching
I always look at it like that, man. Every one of my guys is fighting to prove something.
Giants at Redskins, NFC East battle. Who cares? Going with the Giants here. I don't know if Daniel Jones is back. I don't even care. Giants are going to win.
Yeah, they're going to win.
Maybe.
Why
do I sound definite? This is a garbage game.
I have nothing to add to this game. The Giants are going to win this.
Lions at Broncos. Ew.
Oh, come on.
It's in Denver. The fans always show up even when the Broncos are garbage. I'm going to go with Denver here.
How do you agree with Patricia getting another year to prove himself?
Sure. You know what? Here's the thing. Patricia wasn't handed anything great.
No.
And I mean, it wasn't going to be like the Lions have never been anything. Even when they had Barry Sanders the last year or two, they weren't much. It's been a long drought for Detroit fans. Oh, man, that poor city right now. Think about I just thought of this. Red Wings are dead last. Tigers were awful. Pistons, not great. And the Lions are garbage.
Comeback's happening, baby. You watch. We're gonna make a big splash. We're gonna make a big splash at the trade deadline. We're gonna get this going.
But that's the sad part. The Pistons are the best team right now out of Detroit. All right. Raiders at I'm sorry. You're going with Broncos or Lions?
Broncos.
All right. Raiders at Chargers. Oh, these games are just garbage for these teams that don't matter. I'll go with the Chargers here. What the heck? I think they win this one at home.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Chargers too. They got a couple pieces back, and I don't think Philip Rivers wants to end his tenure with the Chargers like this.
Another NFC East clash, this one with playoff implications, but equally as gross as the Giants and Redskins game. Cowboys are going to Philadelphia. Wow. Here's the thing. The Eagles absolutely should not win this game.
No.
Shouldn't be close. Cowboys
shouldn't even be close.
It should be a dominant win, and that's why I'm picking the Cowboys. But I would not be shocked at all if Philadelphia pulls this one out. Last 2 weeks I picked against them, and they almost lost. And no.
You know, just because it's these two teams, just because it's the NFC East, I think the Eagles win this game. I don't want us to go to the playoffs. I don't think anything's going to happen, but I think the Eagles win this game.
Yeah. They have, what is it, Ward or Hall? What's his name?
Ward Jr.?
Ward. Yeah. Is your number one at the moment.
We had two guys in one game have their first NFL receptions.
You had two tight ends, one lining up as a slot receiver.
And that's why I think we'll win. I don't think Dallas has had a game plan for him.
Who does?
Exactly.
Cardinals
Spicing things up. This is gumbo, baby. Spices it up.
Battle of the Birds. Cardinals at Seahawks. Going with the Seahawks here. Cardinals are just –
Yep, Cardinals are. We expected this first-year quarterback.
Yep. Who, by the way, is a stud. I think Kyler Murray's a good QB. Yeah.
I think he absolutely gets better. No, but I'm going Seahawks too.
Chiefs at Bears. Bears were eliminated from playoff contention last week. Although, can we for a moment talk about that last play from last week's game against Green Bay? Number 49. I don't even know your name. I didn't learn it because I don't respect you. Number 49. They did this brilliant lateral play, one of those Music City Miracle, Miami Miracle type plays, where they're tossing it back. They're getting down there inside the 20. They flip it back to 49. You see a receiver for the I just lost. Oh, for the Bears running up beside. I think it was Robinson. Could have tossed it back.
Oh no, it was Gabriel, Taylor Gabriel.
Gabriel, yeah, had the chance to toss it back. There was no one there. He was right in the end zone.
Even if there was someone there, he was going to have a full head of steam.
My dude not only didn't, he fumbled the ball. Bro, turn around, throw it to him, you win.
I don't.
Incredible. Just incredible. I hope he's cut. Chiefs.
I am picking the Chiefs in said suicide poll this week, so they better win.
Yeah. Oh, man, you made it this far.
Oh, dude.
Packers at Vikings. Finally, a great game. Monday night. This is actually a good Monday night football game. Packers in Minnesota. I'm going with the Vikings in this game. I think the Packers have been playing well, but Minnesota has more talent, especially on that offense. And at home, they've been playing pretty well.
I'm going to go Packers because I don't think Dalvin Cook plays this week. They haven't
ruled him out yet, though, right?
They haven't ruled him out, but
I think he's questionable. I don't think he's doubtful. I think he's questionable. But
I think it takes one hit to that shoulder, man, and that's.
Oh, for
I
sure.
think I think Dalvin Cook playing is a deciding factor. But I'm going to go Packers. I think we see hopefully. Oh, actually, I'd like to see it. I hope we see a vintage Aaron Rodgers performance.
All right. So yeah. Your last things last, MJ. What do you have for me this week?
My last things last this week, man.
I had a couple that I was going back and forth on, but you go ahead first while I decide.
I was debating on a few myself, man. I've been heavy into the NBA, so I was trying to jump from there. But you know what? I'm going to stick with the NBA. I'm enjoying the NBA. I'm going to stick with the NBA. Anthony Davis this year will win MVP and Defensive Player of the Year.
Wow.
I think he's personally the best player on that team. LeBron is doing a great job of facilitating and grooming him into what he truly can be. I think we see Anthony Davis this year make a true jump. Second half of the season really runs through it, man. I think they have a possibility of going after the regular season record of wins. And I definitely could see that happening. He's crushing it. I don't think Harden keeps up the scoring he's doing. I could see that. And the other thing I want to add on top of that team, Dwight Howard was the best signing of the offseason this year. Of not top tier players, the best pickup they could have made. What a crucial piece to that team, man. If Dwight Howard's backing up Davis, what a pickup.
Yeah, absolutely. And I totally agree with that. LeBron is still the playmaker on that team, but
easily.
The rock of that team is Davis, for sure.
By the way, Doc Rivers, I want to say, is throwing a shot at the Lakers saying, well, they just do what LeBron says they do when it comes to load management. Didn't Kawhi come to you and say, unless you get Paul George and let my people run things, I'm not coming here? Did you do what he said? You did. You did. You can't throw that salt. I'm sorry. You can't. I said Doc Rivers, saying that LeBron James doesn't do load management because he basically does – the Lakers do what he says. Kawhi flew to you and said, you're going to get Paul George. You're going to do these things. My people from my camp are allowed to, say and do what they want. If you don't, I'm not coming here. So you did the same thing. Just get over it.
Yeah. Funny story about that is with Doc Rivers, and I'm trying to remember the exact deal. On the jump, the one day they were talking to Tracy McGrady about it, and he was gonna weep because apparently, remember when T-Mac and Grant Hill were teamed up in Orlando, and that was totally scary before Grant Hill got hurt?
Yep.
They almost had Tim Duncan with them. The only reason that three didn't happen is because Doc Rivers said Tim Duncan's family can't fly on the team plane. So Duncan said no. Why? You would have had a super team before super teams were a big thing.
That's a dynasty. That's a dynasty that was missed.
Oh, the Orlando fans, I feel so bad for you.
God,
that would have been unbelievable.
They've gotten kicked left and right, man.
Yeah. My last things last is the New York Yankees, with their 9-year deal to Garrett Cole, will make out worse than the Angels with their signing of Anthony Rendon. Angels win when it comes to big contracts this offseason.
Kevin, that was my other hot take. That was my other last things last.
Garrett Cole is 29 years old. You gave him a 9-year, $324 million deal. You might get 3, maybe 4 ace years out of him, and that is not enough. If you get only 4, you lost that deal, because then you've got 5 years that he's like a 3 or 4 arm now on the team. You lost out. You overpaid because you were scared of what any other team was going to offer him. And there's a great meme going around, and I don't think he meant to do this, but during when they introduced Garrett Cole, Hal Steinbrenner's sitting there and it just looks, the caption was, "I've made a huge mistake." But on the Angels side, you just got, other than Nolan Arenado, the best third baseman in baseball, who is going to get you an incredible batting average. He's going to hit you home runs, and he will not let one ball by him at third base.
And he has the clutch gene, man.
And it's not going to go down. He's not going to lose his value over that time, because even if maybe his last year of that deal he loses some of his fielding ability, he's still going to be crushing it with the hitting, because DH, American League, you're allowed to do that. Yankees, you should have gone for Rendon. You overpaid on Cole.
Kev, that was that's the one I was debating in my head. So happy you said that. I completely agree that they $324 million for a pitcher. Come on.
Too much money.
For a pitcher.
I think the Phillies paid for Bryce Harper, especially with the amount of years they gave him.
Too.
So when you're doing that on a pitcher, when you are relying on his arm, what if he has Tommy John surgery? What if he gets hurt? You are putting so much stock. I know there's insurance policies on players, but dude, nothing covers you to the tune of $324 million the way that you want it to. So, yeah, not a great move. I honestly think they were scared into it. I think he was like, I got the money. I want to be the king. I want to be like my dad, and I'm just going to go for it. And I think you struck out there, Hal. So
Couldn't agree
we'll
more.
See.
Couldn't agree more.
All right, guys. So we might get something out before Christmas. We might not. Justin said he's going to try and do a solo cast coming up, give some of his thoughts. He'll probably do one in which he fires back at me for a lot of things.
Copious amounts of swearing.
Yeah. So not safe for work, what Justin will probably put out. But, hey, if we don't see you, Merry Christmas. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Later, guys.